determined I was going to get better from polio. And it was a long haul. And it was really traumatic, really traumatic. My mother took me to the doctor. First she asked my aunt, who was a nurse. She said it started out like a cold. And I just didn't get better. And then all of a sudden I couldn't talk and I couldn't move. And my aunt said, you take her to such and such doctor in Salt Lake. So she did, and he said, well, she has polio. And he said, you take her to the general hospital. And he said, if they won't take her, you leave her on the doorstep. I was there for well over 2 months, and you could not see your parents. Nobody could come in. And it was so traumatic. Like to this day, I can tell you dreams that I had, and the cribs that we were in, and they would frequently come in and they'd bend you over and do a spinal tap, and it was really, really scary. Finally, they let our parents come on Sunday for an hour, and I can remember my mom coming, and I was so angry I wouldn't talk to him, which must have been really traumatic for them, because here they were all in turmoil too, and I just wouldn't talk. I can remember my mom saying, all the people in the ward are praying for you. And I knew at that moment I was going to get better. And when I finally was able to go home, my mom would get the fire going really hot in the stove and the water boiling. And they were supposed to use wool army blankets. It had to be wool because then it wouldn't burn you. And they were cut in strips. And she would put them in this boiling water, and it was so hot she had to use a stick to lift it up out of the water. And my dad brought our wringer washing machine right next to it, and she'd put it through the wringer. And I'd be laying on the kitchen table, and she'd wrap. It was my neck, my back, my left arm, and my left leg. And the first couple, you'd scream. It was hot, really hot. Not that it burned you, but it was hot. And then by the second batch, you'd be fast asleep. It relaxed you so much. For every year, once a year, I had to go to the Crippled Children Foundation and be checked. We'd walk in the room and, oh, the guilt you'd feel. This part makes me cry. Sorry. There would be children with their heads pulled over and all kinds of crutches and enormous braces. And you wouldn't cry this many years after. And I would walk in. It was like, well, what's the matter with you? So I was really blessed, but I felt guilty about it. Last night, I am so passionate, all I do is cry. But Will came over to me and he says, come on, Grandma, let's go to the park, you and me. And I take that as a compliment that he wanted me to go to the park with him. Yeah.
Well, in my practice, I think that's easy. I feel fulfilled every day when I am kind to people. I enjoy medicine a lot. I have a lot of good friends in medicine, so that's easy for me. I feel like I do good things. I think coming into this house and knowing that she's going to be here fulfills me. Met this girl, and it was really kind of scary. I came out to BYU to find a girl, a Mormon girl, and I was a senior my last month before I graduated. But we did meet. Met on Y Day. She looked pretty classy. Y Day was a cleanup day. And our job was to pick up the girls and take them over to Saratoga Springs to swim. We took them to Saratoga, and she really looked good in a swimming suit. She really looked good. And so I was enamored. We got home and I asked my roommates if I ought to call her up, ask her out, and they persuaded me to try. So I called her up. In the car, there were 3 of us in our car, my 2 roommates and I, and my one roommate had flaming red hair, and mine was auburnish, but like getting quite dark then. So when I called her up, I said I was the one in the car with the red hair, so she accepted the date, thinking it was my roommate, who was really kind of a nerd. And when I got to pick her up, she was very polite, acted like, yep, there, you're the one, yep.
Pretty surprised.
We saw each other every day after that, every day. Well, I think we both agree, you just be obedient. Just do what the prophets have told us to do, and things work out. They worked out for us, they can work out for anybody.